Hello, and welcome to SAUSD Arts Forward, a segment of Downtown Santa Ana's virtual art walk. My name is Sabrina Skeels, and I am K-12 Visual and Performing Arts Curriculum Specialist for Santa Ana Unified School District. I'm here to set up some context for our SAUSD Arts Forward segment that you'll be watching tonight. Last month, we had a wonderful virtual festival known as Boca de Oro. And I'm going to be setting up an opportunity for you to watch one of our feature segments in our special programming we have for you. Bogue de Oro was a wonderful event. In years past, we've always had it in person in downtown Santa Ana, and this year we pivoted to a virtual environment due to the pandemic. But we had so many great segments featuring the wonderful work of our students, our teachers, all of our arts programs in our district. We would like for you to take a look at this wonderful segment that we have to highlight to just further provide access to all of the great opportunities that our students and staff have through the arts in our district. So please enjoy.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Laura Sotelo, and I'm the dance director at Godinez Fundamental High School. Thank you so much for being here. I see friends, family, guests, colleagues. It's wonderful to see all of you. We're going to be sharing today about our experiences teaching during a pandemic, and I'll be going first, and then Ms. Torres will be going second. And I'll share my screen with you. All right. Are you able to see my screen? Yes? Okay, great. So again, I teach at Godinez Fundamental High School. It's a high school in Santa Ana, California. The program that I lead has about 250 students in it. There's different levels of dance. There's beginning, there's advanced, and there's the dance team. And today I'm going to be talking to you about two levels that I teach, which is the beginning dance class, a little bit about advanced, and then we'll have two students from the dance team that will be discussing their experiences and what it's been like for them during this time in the pandemic and taking dance class. So why is dance important? Well, Martha Graham, who was the mother of modern dance, said that dance is the hidden language of the soul, of the body. And dance is a means of expression. It connects us to the human experience by using our bodies as a means to say what we cannot express in words. And so important right now that the kids are able to express themselves, because many of them are unable to express what they're feeling with words. And so movement is a means to connect them to what they're feeling and hopefully helps them process those emotions and helps them learn how to be less stressed during this time. So the kids have learned jazz, ballet, hip hop, cultural dance, as I've said, in order to express themselves. And during the pandemic, the students have been feeling overwhelmed, stressed, fearful, and worried about everything from their family's health to their own survival. And this is why dance is so important, like I said, because it helps free the kids from stress. So what does a day in a dance class look like? So we start with a Pilates warm-up. And Pilates is a system of exercises that increase physical strength, flexibility, and posture. And it enhances their mental awareness because they're breathing through the exercises. They're moving mindfully. And Pilates is the name of the German physical fitness specialist, Joseph Pilates, who created the system. It's a mat work exercise, and you use your own body weight and you work on your core muscles. So mostly the muscles of the abdominal area, shoulder area, and the back. We spend about 10 to 15 minutes on Pilates, and students like this warm-up because it wakes them up and gives them energy to go about their day. And here's an example of what a Pilates exercise looks like. It's on the floor. All you need is your mat, your body, and mindful breathing. So this is an exercise that's called a bridge. Basically, it's a bridge exercise where you need to be able to have a strong alignment between your shoulders and your knees. It requires a lot of strength in the abdominals, the back, a lot of flexibility in the hamstring. So this would be a shoulder bridge exercise. Then we move on to the standing warm up. And the standing warm up is when we play music and the students start moving, right? We use ballet, modern, and jazz movements during this warm up, and isolations. If you know anything about dance, you're moving one body part at a time. And it's fun, it's engaging. The students are able to release their stress, they're able to feel good about moving. And the terminology that we use in dance are pliés, relevés, dégagés, rond de jambes, and that's just fancy talk in French for movements that we use in all sorts of dance styles, so jazz, ballet, etc. Then we stretch. We'll spend about 20 to 30 seconds on major muscle groups to make sure they're ready to dance. And then we go into the dance combination. And so this is when the students practice their short dance phrases, and this is part of their longer dance. The dance in total will be about 45 seconds long. And so this is when we practice, we break down the steps, they review it, they ask me questions. And in the more advanced dances, the dance classes work on group choreography. Then it's the cool down. So this is when we slow the body down by breathing slowly and moving through a few short stretches to cool down the body and to avoid and decrease soreness for the next day. We don't always get to the cool down, but when we do, it's really nice to end on a really peaceful vibe. Other ways that we combat stress and screen fatigue, we do constructive rest in class. And this is when the students are lying down in a flat position on the floor. They can have their legs up on a chair. They can have a pillow under their head. And then they just focus on breathing and their body awareness and their emotions and their physical sensation of being on the floor. Some of them sit at their desk because not all of them want to lie down. And I just ask them to put their head on top of their hands. And this training can help release muscle tension. It gives them a break from the screen, the constant screen time that they're engaged in right now. And it increases social emotional awareness because I ask them to basically be in tune with what they're feeling in the moment, to focus on their breathing, and again, to focus on the physical sensation of what it's like to be in their body that day on the floor at their desk. So it slows all their thinking down. And constructive rest usually happens at the beginning of the class. Another way of being mindful and present in the moment is through yoga. And yoga is the ancient practice of the mind-body training through strengthening and stretching poses with deep breathing and meditation or relaxation. And the students follow an instructor online. Her channel is called Yoga with Adrienne. And Adrienne is a YouTube instructor. She's an incredible resource. So if you love to do yoga or are interested in doing yoga, she has so many videos on YouTube. And you will enjoy it because she can take you from a beginning level all the way up to an intermediate advanced level. And our students work on their mindful movement skills again. So we're trying to train the body and the mind and the breath to work together. And with yoga, the students are able to do that. And this helps build their emotional and physical resilience. Another way that we help the students become mindful movers is through guided meditation. And these are the more advanced dance classes. The advanced and dance production classes are the ones that will do this on a Friday. So they end their afternoon with a video where the students are lying down. They'll have their eyes closed, but they may not be able to see the video, but they're able to hear the guided visualization scene spaces that are being detailed for them. And so the guide might ask them to think of a beach or an open field, and there'll be calming music in the background. And the guide vocalizes all these instructions of when to breathe, how to breathe. And the direct effect is relaxation for the students. And the videos are pre-screened and they last about 10 to 30 minutes. And at the end of class, the students have told me, because I asked them in the chat, because we're in a Zoom model, and I'll ask them at the end of class, how do you feel? Like, how did you feel at the beginning of class? How did you feel at the end of class? And they tell me that they feel more relaxed, less stressed, more awake, and that they've had a fun time. And these are all the things we want to see in our students as they navigate their learning experience online. So I think I'm going to skip questions till the end so that we can have a good flow. here, and I have two students that are going to be speaking to us about what their experience has been during the pandemic taking dance class online. And both of them are part of our dance team at our school. The first student is Tammy Tran, and she's our media leader. And I'll be asking her some questions so that she can describe what it's like being a media leader for our team. And then I have Angela Orozco, who is our dance team captain, and we'll be talking about what dance means to her and her leadership skills that she's been able to practice during the pandemic. So I'll start with Tammy. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Tammy, and this is my first year on the dance team. This year, I had a very important role as the media leader, since especially like we're all learning remotely from home. So one of my main jobs is to coordinate and put videos of the students dancing and put it together so we can have one big video of all of us dancing together. Um, and some of my projects that I did before is our introduction video, as well as a video that was a dancing video that was included in our school's virtual pep rally. And I'm also currently working on a new project where I'm editing the senior dance, which will be included in our virtual dance showcase.
Awesome. Thank you, Tammy. And I just want to also ask, what does dance mean to you? Why is it important to you?
Um, Dancing is like important to me because I wanted to be like staying active during this time, as well as like for the visual and the arts aspect. But also like I wanted to create new friends through dance. But that's like much harder to do since we're all at home. Uh, I find dance very therapeutic, and whenever I do dance, I feel very calm in my chaotic life.
Thank you for sharing. Angela, same question for you. First, introduce yourself and then tell us, what does dance mean to you?
Hi, my name is Angela Orozco. I am the dance team captain this year, and I've been in dance for about 3 years.
And tell me what dance means to you.
Dance means to me, it's kind of an escape for me. It's really relaxing, and it's nice to keep your body moving and flowing. Even during this whole thing, it's a good like escape to kind of keep your mind off of whatever is going on in the world.
Yes, and you've been such an important leader on our team. Can you talk about how your leadership skills have been used during this time during the pandemic?
Well, since I'm a captain, I'm here for my teammates, and if they need any help, like they'll message me and I'll give them a talk. I've actually is my first year choreographing for the team, which is really nerve-wracking, but it's really helpful for me since I want to pursue dance in the future. And so this is like a nice start to my career, which is leading a team and choreographing.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, ladies. And at this time, I'll open it up to questions to either myself or my students. Anything you'd like to know or curious about, or maybe you don't have questions, that's okay too. Okay, so I think that, thank you, Scott. Oh, Cindy Herman, Angela, how have you kept up morale for your dancers?
Well, I've been trying to first for me, it's really hard to keep myself motivated, but I try to like keep myself hyped and like not hyped was, but like kind of be a role model and not be negative because if I'm negative, my team's going to be negative.
That's right. And I have to say, the students have been so dedicated in terms of showing up on time, going to rehearsals, participating. I've really leaned on their leadership, and they're coming together and making sure that they're doing their projects and staying on task. I've been really pleased with how well the students have engaged even during this time with dance and with the class. Did any of your students take dance last year? Yes, both of them have taken dance previously with me. We went from having, like I said, a program of 250 kids to It's difficult. Most of the students don't turn on their cameras, so you're not sure who's following you. So it's gone from this room full of 50 kids per class and some 40 per class, and then the dance team is smaller, it's got 23 kids, to now seeing screens and little tile icons, and you're not sure who's following you. So that's where we use the chat, but it has been an extreme change for us, but we've had to adapt, and I think we've done a good job doing so. Last question, dancers, do you think dance has really helped you through this pandemic? We only have about 30 seconds.
For me, it really has, because it's a form of relaxation, and school is really hectic because it's through Zoom. So knowing that you're going to go to dance and you're going to relax is a lot better.
Nice. Tammy, anything?
Like I said before, after like a long day, on Fridays when we go to all of our classes, just ending the day with like relaxation, it's very calm, and it like relieves stress. So it's
All
nice.
right. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for sharing. Miss Fausto, you're up next.
Thank you, Ms. Sotelo, and thank you for sharing that with us. I want to thank you all once again for being here and taking the time out of your day to listen to us and hear our perspectives and all about our experience with this current pandemic. Thank you to the students that spoke, and then the students from Valley High School that are going to assist me with this presentation. So my presentation is a little different. It's we've had to explore a lot this year, and we had to figure out a way of not just how do we change the outline of our classes during the day, but how do we change how we produce, how we perform, how we create. So my students are hands down, they have been the best people to collaborate with when it comes to, let's just explore, let's just play around and see what we can come up with our devices. So because of that, I was able to develop this short little guideline that I share with my friends that I kind of use as my go-to when it comes to guiding my students. And again, they were a part of that. The other thing that really helped me was I took a workshop this summer, and thank goodness I took this workshop. I took a workshop with Bear Dance Company that is directed with Mike Esperanza. And that workshop happened in the middle of the pandemic. It was all on Zoom, but it really helped all the artists that attended figure out how do we go into the school year and learn to develop and create video, which was a world that was very different for me. I have no experience with film editing. I come from a dance world and a business world. So this workshop really helped me a lot. Now, when I approach any piece with my students, whether it's beginning, advanced, or dance team, I go in with this objective that students are going to be able to choreograph and train in various genres of dance while incorporating technical devices and producing digital works. That's basically the overview of my lessons. The other thing that we've played with and explored is location. I think we started in the summer. We started kind of figuring out, okay, so when we start the school year, dance team, how are we going to approach this? How are we still going to be able to put out pieces for the world to see? So we thought, okay, well, what do we have to work with in our own given space? You know, where are you going to be dancing? Are you in your living room? Are you in a hallway? And we tried to figure out, and this took a lot of trial and error, and my students can vouch for that. We tried to figure out, okay, where do we find a space that has very minimal distractions in the background? Because, you know, we have different things going on at home each and every day. And, you know, sometimes you might have toys in the background, or, you know, grocery bags, cords, etc. So we tried to look for something that was not distracting. Some of them were able to also play with open spaces. And I have a few kids that, you know, took advantage of the opportunity and used the beach as an open space, which I was very grateful that they did that. They seem to have really enjoyed getting out of the house and being able to explore the nature a little bit. Other areas that we looked at were corners, because corners and hallways, or even a window in your home can work very well in a video. So that was part of our exploration in the first area that we looked at. Other locations that we looked at were, is there places in my house where I can like hide behind an object and then pop back into the frame? Is there a prop somewhere that I can use, or a chair, a couch that I can choreograph with and use in my movement? And then of course, lighting was a whole nother thing. We're not used to this, right? We're all used to dancing in a stage or dancing in our dance room. So we had to take lighting into consideration. We had to figure out when is the best time of day to dance and film myself where I can get good sun and good lighting. And so I will have my first student talk about more about props. And I believe she is on here and she can tell you a little bit about her experience with location and prop. Melissa, that's you.
Yeah, I'm here.
There you are.
Hi, my name is Melissa. This is my first year on dance team. It's kind of, as you can see, getting comfortable with your surroundings. It is really important, but it can also be really difficult. Taking it from my experience, having to dance like in a smaller area it can be hard, but like it's not impossible. You can always work with what you have. I've always used furniture, props, like it gets difficult, but as you're working through it, like you just get used to it. I've worked with as I'm working with furniture and props, like I have broken some, and you know, it comes with days like it stresses you out, but at the same time, like at the end, your video just looks unique and amazing, and it's different than anything else. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yes, they are definitely working with what they have. And here we have one of our very first videos that we did over the summer when we were trying to prepare ourselves for the school year. This is one of our students on the dance team that, you know, again, started to explore her area and her surroundings and what she was going to have to work with for the year. So I'm going to show this video with you all. So yeah, that was one of our very first attempts at figuring out, okay, how are we going to go about this, right? And how are we going to play with location? In addition to that, here is Melissa exploring her prop. So as she mentioned, she's had some experience with making props, but it's just trial and error, you know, at the end of the day. In addition to finding location and what props we can play with, we always talk about mood, and I kind of let my students figure out what their mood is going to be for the piece, unless it's something like hip hop or, you know, jazz that has to have a specific mood. But other than that, I try to help them explore how they're feeling about the dance that they're currently creating. And then I have another student that wants to talk a little bit about not just having to focus on the mood of the genre and the piece, but other things that can affect her mood. So Melanie, when you are ready.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Melanie, and I'm super excited to talk to you guys all today. So, I'm a Valley High School student, and this is actually my first year on the dance team. So, the dance team was very new to me, but not just the dance team, but also video editing is very new for me. And I think learning choreography during these hard times is very, very difficult. Why do I think it is so important that we focus on these things is because if we focus on the mood of the piece, we can find better ways to cope with frustration, like poor Wi-Fi, location, and also floor surfaces and surfaces in general. I think is very hard to work with, but even that mood in that given moment, it feels better when everything is good and you feel good. So I think through my perspective, I was thrown onto dance on a computer with minimal space and lots of internet issues. I get kicked out at times and it gets very frustrating. It's definitely not easy and it messes with my mood, but at the end of the day, dancing is what I love to do. So I can get through it. My mood throughout this journey has actually been an up and down roller coaster. It's very frustrating, but I think overall dance has created a safe place for me and everyone else to let out their moods and emotions, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you. Yeah, Melanie is a perfect example of somebody that does the best to, set aside any Wi-Fi issues or anything that's, messing with her creativity, and she's able to just chug forward and put together her dance. And I commend you for that. Thank you, Melanie. Another thing that I give my students often is after we teach them a phrase, is we might give them ideas about, okay, now you can take the phrase and manipulate it and make it work in your space, make it work in your home by adding, floor work to it, by adding jumps, by doing it up against the wall and giving it like a peeling off the wall sensation. I let it be very open and very free when it comes to deciding things like that, just because I have to be considerate about the different spaces that they all have to work with. Plus, I'm also I feel like I'm a very democratic teacher, and I'm very student-centered. My students and I love making these decisions and these choices together. I think it's what helps us work better. Angles is another thing that we've learned a lot about. Where can you place your camera? Can you place it on the floor? Can you place it up on top of, a stack of boxes, whatever it may be, to give the audience a different visual. And now I'm going to hand it on to another student who's going to discuss that and her perspective on that.
So hello everybody, I'm Haiti, and I'm this is my 3rd year on the dance team. And with whole this thing of COVID and everything, the way you're presenting choreography or creating choreography has been very new to me, even if it's my 3rd year within the team. Now, angles can like be basically anything around your space and how you can record yourself from the front, from the back, from on top, or from the bottom. So really thinking outside the box and how you want to like record yourself or film yourself. And like I said again, like the angles can vary. You can help create yourself from different perspectives around your space, and particularly you can also demonstrate which body parts you want to present. Like if you want to concentrate on your feet, if you want to concentrate on your upper body, or if you want to film yourself like your whole entire body, or like your surroundings as well, like how much of your surroundings you want to include in your choreography within your video is also very important and new to me as well. So this whole with angles has been very new to me, but it also allows me to explore different ways on how to present choreography, and I really enjoy it because you're thinking outside the box. You're creating new skills for yourself in terms of how you can create choreography and present your choreography out into the world where people can get entertained and see yourself from a different perspective of how you film your video.
Yes, thank you, Haiti. And Haiti took the initiative to recently go to the park and film herself. It sounds like she just wanted to get out and she wanted to use a different location for her choreography. So here's a very short snippet of Haiti's recent project. Very short because that's her rough draft. She's still working on what she wants to do for the next section. Okay, additional details to consider when it comes to this new virtual world and dance. It's the camera. Do we place the camera close to us? Do we place it far away? Do we want a bold and upfront angle? Are we entering and exiting the frame? And then something that we call obstructive views, which is one of my favorite type of angles, if you want to call it an angle. Things like placing fabric in front of a camera, or placing, I don't know, the leg of a table in front of you, maybe a fence. We've been playing with a lot of that too, and it creates some beautiful stuff to look at. There's a lot of apps out there too that I'm not going to take credit for discovering. The only one that I think I discovered on here was Velo, VLO, but I have great students that love to venture out and search for free apps and play with different applications. So I'm going to have my student Giselle talk about that briefly and about her experience with different apps.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Giselle Azama. I am currently a senior at Valley High School and a second-year dance team captain. So my experience using these free applications has been pretty good. I mean, just like I echo what Mrs. Fausto and Melanie had said since the beginning of the presentation, that this is all pretty new to us, so we are all in the same boat. It has been pretty much trial and error since the summer. trying to figure out what works best for us. So the best advice I can give everybody would probably be to set some time aside and go and explore these apps. Try and see what fonts you like, what like cutting videos, trying to put them together, what works best for you and your videos.
Yes, and I'm sure that Giselle can also attest to the fact that editing dance through a device, whether it's a phone or a computer, takes a long time. So she's had a lot of experience editing some of our videos. So she gives herself, how long do you give yourself? 2 days, a week?
Yeah, probably like when I have a lot of homework, I try to take like at least 3 days and 1 to 2 hours each day in my free time and just try to take my time and explore like what each app has to offer.
Yes, she's awesome. She's a rock star. We could not have done a lot of our videos if it wasn't for her and her ability to experiment and play with technology. I'm gonna go ahead and skip this video just because we are running out of time, but I want to show you just a few more and I'll show very little of each one. They let us know we could go over our session a little bit. So if you have to go, I understand, but if you are willing to stick around and watch more of our projects, please stick around so you can see what these wonderful kids have created.
The architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. They were signing a promissory note with every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Let me cut that one off and go on to another one just because, like I said, we're running out of time. Here's another one that we did first semester. I think it was maybe like 2 months into the semester. I would love to share so much more with you, but we are out of time. I did see a question in the chat, and I think that question was for both of us. I will answer that in 1 second. I just wanted to give my student Mia, she's still here. She wanted to give her perspective a little bit on she's a class captain, a dance class captain, on her perspective on how it is to manage a group and guide them through choreography. So Mia, do you want to go ahead and speak on that?
Yes. Hello everyone. I'm Mia, and I'm my this is my first year in advanced dance, and as a class captain. When it came to big projects, it was difficult during this virtual time because of the complications. Some of the complications were when it came to learning the dance or even cleaning the dance, because we ran out of time. The other hard part is that not everyone was allowed to go outside or even have enough room to dance in, which was difficult because a lot of our students lived in apartments or they just couldn't go outside because of all the noise. So yeah, those were the main hard challenges we faced and still continue to face.
Yeah, thank you, Mia. And Mia does a great job as a class captain in leading her class members. And I think one of Ms. Sotelo's students said the same thing. If you're negative, then your other classmates are going to be negative too. So she does a great job in keeping their spirits up. So I thank her for that. At this point, if you have any questions, oh, we did have a question in the chat. Somebody asked us, Laura, if we are thinking of continuing this technology or virtual type of world once things get back to normal? I know, right? Good question. I'll let you go first, Laura.
I think for me, it will be minimal because I think I'll be so excited to see the kids again in person and being able to physically move them, when something needs to be adjusted, or it's going to be a celebration. So at first, I don't see myself working with technology all that much, but later, now that I see what the amazing things Brenda and some of our other colleagues are doing, I mean, the sky's the limit, right? But not for me, not during the transition.
Yeah, and then for me, I think I've learned a lot. I'm trying to see the positive in this whole experience, and the positive is my students and their willingness to try new things. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to play with technology ever, because I'm kind of impressed with the fact that I have Giselle who knows how to add text to video, and so now I'm thinking, okay, maybe when we open up our spring concert, we can have a full-on video playing as people walk into the auditorium. We can play something during intermission, or if when we are energized and feeling like we want to tackle this world again, we're going to create something where we can fuse technology and dance together. I mean, I feel like I have a great support system in my students, and I could not do it without their support. So they give me the courage and the confidence to want to try it. So I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say there's definitely a possibility to stay in this world. That's a good question. Thank you for asking. And thank you. Yes, thank you to our students for being such great leaders and for being here. If there's any other questions, we'd be happy to answer them for you, or questions for our students. I have also typed our Instagram in the chat for you guys to follow. And if you want to see more of our videos, we have more projects coming in very soon. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much. And thank you to our colleagues that are here. I think Laura and I can both agree that our colleagues, Cheryl Sloat, Cindy Herman, you guys have been a part of that creative process and have been great at giving us feedback and guiding us and figuring this all out together. So thank you. Great feedback in the chat. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, we are done with our presentation. At this point, any other questions before we close it out? Thank you. Thank you.